Hey everybody, and welcome to Ages Cozy Crochet Corner, where today on the corner we are doing lovely skirt wraps. Um, Quick design, easy to make, and you're going to pick your favorite yarn for this one. For this one, I did a 4 yarn, and this is all cotton. And for this one, I did a size 3 yarn, and it's going to be whatever you like. So grab whatever your favorite yarn is, and we're going to get to the table, and we're going to make this. And when we're making it with this nice little weaving so we can add more room or not have as much room. We can keep it more closed. So it's very adjustable. And we're going to get right to the table on this one. Okay, everybody. So we're at the table, and what we're going to be needing today are scissors, measuring tape, our yarn needle, and I'm going to be using 24/7 cotton yarn by Lion Brand. It is a medium worsted 4 yarn. Suggested hook size is a 4mm hook, and that is exactly what I'll be using today, a 4mm hook. And there are 186 yards here, and we're going to get right into this, and the color is camel. Okay, so we're going to get right into this tutorial, and I'm going to move all these other things out the way, and let's get started. Okay, so this project is totally customizable. The first thing we want to do is take our tape measure and measure the waist of the person that we want to make this for. Now, once we have our waist, and mine was 34 inches, I want to take away 4 off of that measurement. So I'm taking 4 inches off, and now I'm at 30 inches. So I'm going to make this top band to the span of 30 inches. We will be putting a border on, and we will be putting a lace up closure, and that is going to give us additional space. So, and we want our top to be fairly snug, almost fitted. If you would like another look, then you can adjust that measurement right there. But also, this is a pattern that works in the multiples of 3. So the row amount that we go to, now I'm doing 30, so I'm going to have to go all the way up to 30 inches, but keeping it in a multiple of 3. Now, once I get to my multiple of 3 and my 30 inches all together, even if I go a little bit over, that's fine. I want to put in one more row. So let me begin by showing you first how to create your rows. Okay, so we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We're not going to go into that first chain. We're going to go into the second chain and make a single crochet. So not the first, and into the second, and we're going to make a single crochet. We're going to continue to single crochet all the way down this foundation chain, and at the end we should have 6 single crochets. So I have my 6 single crochets. I'm going to chain 1. We will chain 1 at the end of every row, and we will turn. Now, starting with the first stitch, we're going to go into the first stitch and make a single crochet, and all the way down the second row with single crochets. And our last one. We should have 6 single crochets in the second row. We'll chain 1 and turn our work. Right back into the first stitch, we're going to place a single crochet, and all the way down this row. And the last one. That is our third row, and we have 6 single crochets going down. We'll chain 1 and turn our work, and we'll continue to do the same thing, just placing in, starting in the first stitch, 6 single crochets in every row. When we get to the end of our row, we'll chain 1 and turn our work and begin again. And again, we'll go all the way down this row, doing 6 single crochets, 1 single crochet in every stitch. Once we grow this to the size that we want, and again, I'm going to 30 inches. So once I get to 30 inches, then I'm all done. But I want to make sure it's in multiples of 3 plus 1 more row. Okay, so I have grown my work and I am at 30 inches. So all I did is do what I've shown you, back and forth, and I got to 99 rows. And that was my multiple of 3. So I added 1 more row on for 100 rows total, and that's my multiple of 3 plus 1 row. Okay. So now that I have my rows all done and I'm at the size that I want to chain 1. Now we're going to work single crochets all the way along. If I have 100 rows, then that means I should have 100 single crochets by the time I go all the way down. We're going to look at each row, this being the first row, and I'm going to go through 2 loops and I'm going to make a single crochet. Looking at the next row, I want to go in that row and make sure we catch 2 loops, and we'll make a single crochet. And the next row, I want to go inside that row, making sure I have 2 loops and make a single crochet. And again, the next row, and the next row, and the next one, and we'll keep going all the way down just like that. And we should have the same number of rows that we have. We should have single crochets going across the top. Okay, so I am at my last stitch, and this makes 100 single crochets all the way down the side. Okay, now that I've finished that, I want to chain 2, 1 and 2, and we're going to turn our work. Now we chain 2 at the beginning of every row. Now we're going to be making trebles, so we're going to yarn over 2 times, and right back into that first stitch we're going to go in there, grab our yarn, come up, take off 2, take off 2, and take off 2 again. And this is why we chain 2, so we can reach that height. So we'll chain 2 at the beginning of every row. Now I want to chain 2. We're going to skip 2 single crochets, We're going to yarn over 2 times, and into the third one we're going to go in there and make another treble. Take off 2, take off 2, take off 2 again. We'll then chain 2, yarn over 2 times. We're going to skip the next 2 single crochets, and into that third one we're going to go in and place another treble. We're then going to chain 2, yarn over 2 times, skip the next 2 single crochets, and into the third one we're going to go in and make another treble. And then chain 2. And we're going to keep doing this all the way down this row. So I'm going to go all the way down, and I'm going to skip 2 single crochets into the third one, make my treble, chain 2, and keep going. Now by the time I get all the way back to my last single crochet, this one should be a treble. Okay, so this pattern should keep all the way out. 1, 2, even if you have a different amount, I have 100 rows. If you have a different row amount, 1, 2, 3, it should continue on just like this until we get to the last stitch. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and work all the way down, and I'll show you how we turn and go to the next row. Okay, so I've gone all the way down to the end, and as you see, my last stitch is a treble. So for my next row, and all of our rows will be exactly the same, we'll chain 2 and turn our work. Now we want to yarn over 2 times, and in that first stitch we're going to go right in that first stitch, and we're going to make another treble. Okay, we'll chain 2, yarn over 2 times. Now we'll skip these 2 chains, and into the treble we'll make another treble. Chain 2 again, 1, 2, and skip these 2 chains, and into the treble place another treble. Chain 2, we'll skip these 2 chains right here, yarn over 2 times, and into the treble we'll make another treble. So all we're doing is keeping up the same pattern as we had last row. Every treble will get a treble, and we'll chain 2 in between each treble. Chain 2, this treble will get a treble. Chain 2, and this treble will get a treble. Chain 2, yarn over 2 times. We're going to skip these 2 and place another treble, and chain 2. So again, you see, we're going to keep this up the same exact way. When we get to the end of the row, the last stitch should be a treble. So I'm going to go all the way to the end, and I'll show you how we end and start the row one last time. Okay, so I have worked my last treble in that row. Now I want to chain 2 and turn my work. With my work turned, we're going to yarn over 2 times, and into that first stitch we're going to go right in there and place a treble. Chain 2, we'll skip the 2 chains, and into the treble we're going to go right at the top and place another treble. Chain 2, yarn over 2 times, and then into our next treble we'll place another treble. Chain 2, and we will keep this up for the length that we want for our piece. So whatever length you want, you're going to go down. I will tell you how many rows I've gone down, but this is going to be for the length of your piece. We're just going to keep repeating this back and forth, the same exact row. Go on down until you get the length that you desire. I'll come back in and let you know how many rows I've gone down, and we'll move on to working borders. All right, so I have gone all the way down for 20 rows. Of course, you can make this longer, you can make it shorter, but I'm going to do 20 rows for this one. And now that I'm at my end, I'm going to cut my yarn. And we're just going to chain 1 and pull that through. So now I just have to put my borders on. I want to do a border at my bottom. I'm going to start that one first. So we make sure we're at the bottom. So I'm going to start with the first treble at the bottom. And what I want to do is just add my hook on in that first treble, add on my yarn, pull through, and chain 1. Then I want to go right back into that same stitch and make a single crochet. And every treble in this row will get a single crochet. And now moving on to my chain 2 spaces. Every chain 2 space will get 2 single crochet. So I'm going to go right inside and put 2 single crochet, and then the treble is going to get 1 single crochet. The chain 2 space will get 2 single crochets, and we'll keep going on just like that all the way down this first row for our border. So we're going to go in and put 1 and 2 single crochets, and then our treble is going to get 1 single crochet. Then we're going to go and place 2 single crochets into our chain 2 space, and our treble will get 1 single crochet. And we'll place 2 single crochets into our chain 2 space, and we'll go down the rest of the row just like that. 2 single crochets into our chain 2 space and 1 single crochet into the top of our treble. We'll go all the way down the end till the end of the row like that, and I will see you back at the end where we'll put on a couple more rows. Okay, so I got to the end of my row, and now I'm going to chain 1 and turn my work. Now I'm going to work 2 more rows in the exact same way, not forgetting to chain 1 when we get to the end of the row. We're just going to be putting single crochets all the way down. So every single crochet is going to get a single crochet all the way to the end of the row. We'll chain 1, we'll turn our work, and we'll put on a 3rd row as well. So I'm just going to go to the end, putting in my single crochets, and I'm going to do 2 rows of this. So in total, I'll have 3 rows. Okay, I finished my 3 rows. So I'm gonna cut my yarn off there, and we're going to chain 1 and pull it through. So that's my 3 rows at the bottom. So now let's look at one of the sides. Now what we put on one side, we'll be putting on the other side. So I'm only going to show you one side. And this is the bottom. Okay, so now we have to add on our yarn in the first, well, the last row right here. And we know already that each of our single crochet rows will have 1 single crochet on the side. So I'm going to add my yarn on, chain 1. I'm going right back into that same stitch and placing a single crochet. And now for my second row, a single crochet, and my third row, a single crochet. Now all of our treble areas will be getting 3 single crochets, and right here where we have this joint area, right here where we have this area, we will place 1 single crochet there. So I'm going to go in 1, 2, and 3. Now you notice where I chained 2, that is where I'm putting my 3 single crochets. Now again, right here, I want to go in and place 1 single crochet. Now my treble area again, I want to go and place 3 single crochets. And again, right here, 1 single crochet. Now I'm back to my treble area, and I will go and place 3 single crochets. And again, right here, I'm going to go inside there and place 1 single crochet. And we'll do that all the way down the treble area, 3 single crochets. And then 1. So this is how it's going to look, and going all the way down. So I'm going to go all the way to the end, back to the top, and when we get right here to the top, we'll put 1 single crochet in each single crochet. And I'll meet you back at the top. So I have gone all the way up the side, and I'm at the top, and we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And now I'm just going to go down this whole side and place single crochets for this row. Now when I get to the end of this row, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work, and we'll be on our 3rd row. Now we're going to come all the way up our 3rd row, and then we will stop at the 6th block. So we're going to come back up to our 6th treble block, and in this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So go on down, do your 2nd row, come back up to do your 3rd row, and I'll meet you at the 6th one from the top. Okay, so I have gone and we did the 1st row together. I did my 2nd row, and now I'm on my 3rd row. So I'm headed back up to the top of my work, and I've stopped at the 6th one. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I want to start placing holes right at the third row at this point. So when I look at this block in this section right here, I want to place a hole somewhat in the middle area. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2. I'm going to chain 1 and then skip 1 single crochet and then go into the next and do a single crochet. Just like that. Now I'm looking at this section, so I want to go in a couple more. And chain 1. I'm going to skip this one and go into the next one. And I've created another hole. Okay, so I'm going to go in 2 more. 1, 2, chain 1, skip that one and go into the next one. And I'm going to go into 2 more. 1, 2, chain 1. I'm going to skip this one and go into the next one. And again, 2 more single crochets. Chain 1. Going to skip this one and go into the next one. And do 2 more single crochets. Chain 1. I'm going to skip this one and go into the next one. Then I'm going to place 2 more single crochets. Chain 1. Going to skip this one. I'm going to go into the next one. Now for the top, I'm going to go into this one, the next one. That's 2 single crochets after a hole. I'm going to chain 1 right there, but I am going to go into this one. Okay, so I'm going to go into the first one or the last one on this end and place a single crochet. So right here in between, this is where we're going to start it. Okay, so now that we have all our little holes all the way down, we're going to chain 1, turn our work, and we're going to go back into all of the single crochets and the chain 1 areas. Okay, so our first one is a single crochet, so we'll go into the single crochet. Now right in between these 2 single crochets, we put a chain 1. I want you to go inside that chain 1 space and put a single crochet. That will make that space easy to find when we go to put our loop, put our drawstring in it. Now the next one is a single crochet, so we'll single crochet. Next one, single crochet, so we'll single crochet. Now the next one is our chain 1 space here, so we're going to go into that chain 1 space and put a single crochet, which again will make that easy to find when we come back around. Now we'll go and place single crochets all the way down for our 4th row, even in our chain 1 spaces, single crochet. Okay, and then here's our chain 1 space, single crochet. So they're right there. And this one up here. So what I want to do now is keep going. This is our 4th row. We're going to keep going into the chain 1 spaces all the way down, and then we'll just keep placing single crochets. and that's row 4. So we're going to do 5 rows total here. We're going to go down and finish this row where we're going into all these chain 1 spaces, and this is our 4th row, and then we'll chain 1 at the end of this row and come on back up and do 1 more row, ending us in our 5th row. Now I am finished with my 5th row. I'm going to cut my yarn, chain 1, and pull through. So you can see my spaces here, 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 and a little makeshift one that's up here. Now we want to do the same thing on the exact same on the other side, but remember we must start at the bottom. Okay, so go ahead and add on your work and make sure you place your holes in the exact same place as you place your holes on the opposite side. So now I've finished both of my sides and they both are the same. So now we're done working the piece, and I want to weave in my ends. So I want to take my yarn needle, add my yarn to it, and I want to work this in back and forth until I'm secure that it's secure. And then you want to cut it at the base so we can't see it. So you want to weave in all of your ends like that. Just wanted to show you that one portion. Now I've already taken my yarn and made a chain of 180. Now this chain can be as long or as short as you want it to be. You just want it to have enough space to work through your holes. Okay. But once you're finished chaining your amount, again I chained 180. I'm gonna cut this, and we'll just chain 1 and pull through, and just pull it through, and then pull that down tight. Okay. Now I will be doing something with the ends, just making knots on the ends, but I don't want to do that until I passed it through. Okay, so I want to find that first. So this is the first chain 1 space, the one that we put in between 2 stitches, and I want to pull this through there. And then I want to find the chain 1 space here, and pull that through there. Just like that. Now you want these to be even, and this is a great time to make sure that these are even. Now we just want to tie it up like we would a shoe. You want to cross over, cross them, Now this side will go into the next chain 1 space here, and then this will go on this side, and this one will go into the next chain 1 space here. Now we've crossed them. Now this one will go into the next chain 1 space here. And this one here. Now they both should cross again. And we're just going to keep going into our chain 1 spaces, crisscrossing our string. And we should find that they are both equal. Where our holes are, it should be right across from each other. Now for the last one, because this is my last one, I'm going to go out through the back. And of course you're going to put this in however you like, whichever way you want to tie it back and forth through. If you want to go through the back or if you want to go through the front, either way does not matter. You just want this effect. Okay, right here, this is the effect that you want. So you can make this and once you put it on and you have this adjusted the way you want it to look, you're just going to tie it however you choose. And that is it. And this is going to, the slit is going to sit on your side. Okay, the only thing I want to show you is for my, what is the other one? On my ends, I don't want to just leave them like that, so I, once it's already gone through everything, want to place a knot. Do this a couple times. Try to get my knot continuously on top of each other. Yeah. And I'm going to do it one more time. So that's all I'm doing. It's just placing a knot right there on the end. And then I'm just going to take and cut it rather short. I made sure it's pulled down nice and tight, so it's not going to slip out. Just because this to me looks better than that. Okay, so I'll do the same thing to this end, and that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. As always, thank you for coming to the corner. Okay, everybody, so I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I enjoyed bringing it to you. Don't forget to like this video if you like this video. Make sure you subscribe and hit me in the comment section and let me know what you think. And until next time on Aja's Cozy Crochet Corner, don't forget, love, laugh, and crochet.